help with what I wrote last night?
Yeah, I'm sure you've noticed I'm wearing the same outfit, same clothes. It's been over 24 hours since my last shower. I've been busy. What are you gonna do about it? Call the stink police? Get the odor officers out here? I'll shower here shortly. Today, we're doing something we haven't done in a long time. We're looking at an apology video. This one I could not resist talking about. It is a shockingly bad apology video, even when you consider all of the classics we've seen come out over the decades. It's a TikTok creator named Michael Duvall. Summarized a lot of the tidbits on Michael Duvall, a preschool teacher who produced OnlyFans content at the preschool he worked at. You're going to come directly from his mouth in a moment, but occasionally he would take nude photos of himself in the bathroom, and he even had a video of him masturbating and ejaculating onto the toilet seat, which apparently had like a training seat on it, like for kids to learn how to use the bathroom. It's fucking gross.
I guess let's just start from the very beginning. And 2020 is when I made my OnlyFans. 21 about is when I met my next fiance. We got engaged in 2022. But I would say that this whole OnlyFans story starts from when we're still together.
He's been for like 3 minutes talking about his previous relationship and how it kind of got him back into doing content. He said it was a bad relationship, a lot of bad things happened, so he was moving towards something else with them. So they ended the relationship and did all this stuff with the preschool happened. So to me it really feels like it's kind of not relevant to the matter at hand here, how you got back into the OnlyFans content when what's actually being discussed here with the preschool stuff was choices you made by yourself way after that horrible relationship ended. So it feels to me kind of like he's mentioning this past relationship as a way of like kind of subtly pushing the blame onto his ex for how things got to where they were. It just doesn't seem like it was a good opener here for something that's supposed to be about taking accountability and feels like immediately like avoiding it. Like it really does seem like he's just serving up a happy meal and we don't even get a cool Minecraft Steve toy with it.
And now growing up how I did, it's no shock that I was really excited seeing all this money that was coming in. So I tried really hard. I posted hundreds if not thousands of times a day of so many Reddit pages on my OnlyFans, on my Twitter, just stuff like that. And as you know, I was working as a preschool teacher, technically pre-K, pre-kindergarten, and so I had a lot of free time at work where I would post on those apps.
Posting thousands of times per day is unhinged. Not even those rage-bait Twitter accounts that rule on that
Gamot-gamot, o kanang katong kahoy ni Lula nga bunga ba?
$15 a week and we get that many posts per day.
Ya, ibutang sa tubig, kato yung lupa mo ba?
Especially while at work. How would you possibly, as a pre-kindergarten teacher, think that it's appropriate to just be posting all day on these platforms and for that kind of content too? That's a fucking disgusting thought process where you go from like, alright kids, nap time, go to sleep. Perfect. I can make my 300 posts a day about spreading my chocolate starfish on this Reddit page, and then I gotta check my OnlyFans to see if anyone's requested me to do a full sounding. Like, that is ridiculous. He mentions that he had a ton of free time at work here. I can't imagine there was that much free time, like hundreds, if not thousands of posts on these platforms. Like, when were you ever even doing your job of teaching pre-kindergarten?
I did go to the bathroom a few times and snap a nude. A lot of the reason why I did that was because I was getting paid by people, and now when I said that, people thought I was getting paid by like, I don't know if you can say this word, PDF files, you know what I'm trying to say. People thought I was catering to them, and now with some of those Reddit groups I was in, I should not have been in. They were definitely like dad, son, trans girls. I got kicked out of a lot of groups for like not even fitting the criteria, and it was definitely weird. But when you're in sex work, I don't know, I was just too blinded by the money that was coming in. I know that's no excuse.
Here comes the cold water. It was pedophiles that were paying you to do those things. He keeps denying that, saying that it was, you know, just people wanting to see him do it. It had nothing to do with the location or anything like that. But here comes the truth, like a fucking boxing.
They're coming straight in. Trust me, I've got nothing.
Secondhand embarrassment is a very real phenomenon. It occurs when you witness something that is so grossly turbo cringe that your body has a fight or flight response and fills you with shame from just having watched it, even though you weren't directly involved in the situation. I think the number one cause of out there. But today, I got so much secondhand embarrassment, I feel like I got a year's worth of shame in one afternoon, thanks to the TikTok congressional hearing that happened. This was an absolute mockery of the entire country. It was absolutely foul. It was painful to watch. So I'd like to show you just a few of the clips. The whole thing was about 5.5 hours long, and I can't imagine anyone can make it to the end without puking. It's brutal. It has everything you're probably imagining, tech illiteracy and horrible questions out the wazoo, all wrapped up into one 5-hour endurance test of the human patience. In a nutshell, there's been a lot of controversy about TikTok and TikTok bans, like banning on government phones, which I do agree with. I don't think there's any argument to be made that a fucking government or someone in power person should have TikTok on their phone just because of potential security risks associated with it. And this has expanded into a lot of other big debates around it. I am not a personal fan of the platform in general. I don't really use it that often. Plus, I think it's been extremely detrimental to the actual mental health and attention span of human beings. Because now, I don't know if you go on TikTok often, if you go on TikTok and it's someone just talking about something or a clip of something, there is always Subway Surfers, Rocket League, or GTA playing underneath it in order to keep your attention. Because people need such constant stimulation and jingling keys, if there's not like 3 separate videos of like bars of soap getting cut for satisfying videos, or Rocket League freestyling, while the core video itself is playing, they click off. That shit is just so pathetic, it's actual brain rot behavior. I'm very curious to see in 10 years if that's going to be the commonplace for everything in the world. Like if movies now are going to be like playing a movie, but then also underneath it another separate movie, making sure that your attention is captured. Like it's so baffling just how far the attention span of humans is degrading, where they can't watch a fucking 30-second video without 3 other videos also playing to keep their attention. But with all of that being said, I still don't want to see it nationally mandated and shit like that. And the reason's very simple. Because I like a world where people have the freedom to choose what they do with their whole life, pretty much. So if you want to download TikTok, you should. Even in spite of potential security risks to your privacy or whatever, that should entirely be on the individual's choice. Does the entertainment the platform offer outweigh the potential security risks to your data being sold or whatever? That's up to the person to decide. That's my ideal scenario where people have the freedom to make their own fucking choices there when it comes to some shit like this. I've made it clear I'm no fan of TikTok. I am also very confident that there is a huge level of like spyware with TikTok associated with it, more than the CEO lets on. But holy shit, this congressional hearing or whatever has done nothing but make the CEO of TikTok look like a patient saint, like an actual Zen master to deal with the unhinged lunacy and out-of-touch questions those fucking fossils were throwing his way. It blew my mind. It blew my fucking mind. Her, oh my god, she's so dumb. She kept asking him questions, but instead of letting him answer, she'd just say yes, yes, yes. And then she pulled up a random shit post on TikTok like, you see this threat? Oh, fuck me. Yeah, so she pulled this up, and she's like, look at this. Outrageous. It's not a viral post or anything, by the way.
That video was posted 41 days ago. As you can see, it is captioned me as F.
Dude who asked about TikTok using Wi-Fi? I don't remember, but I think they were trying to make a bigger point. And this is really giving a very charitable bone to the person who asked the question. I think what they were getting at with asking about Wi-Fi is he was trying to state that if one device is connected to a network, it can access everything on that network, which it can. But he couldn't ask the question because I don't think he really fully understood it. But again, I'm doing a very charitable service trying to even make some sense out of that awful question. This accomplished nothing except making their CEO look better. Full-heartedly believe there is a lot more fishy shit at play on the back end of TikTok, but they did not even get close to the bottom of it because they couldn't even wrap their head around what an app on your phone is. It's tragic.
Mr. Zhang Fuping is the editor-in-chief.
He's not.
My colleague, Representative
Just doesn't even let him say it or talk.
proposed that TikTok and ByteDance share legal teams. You confirmed this, correct?
General counsel is
Yes.
an American lawyer,
Yes.
veteran of Microsoft.
Also, my colleague, Representative Latta, confirmed that your parent
Fucking
company,
worthless.
ByteDance, currently can access user data. Yes?
We have to be
Yes.
more specific.
Yes.
After Project
Say-
Texas, no.
I'm not asking after Project Texas, I'm asking now. Yes.
Some user data is public data, Congresswoman, which
So
means
you
everybody
confirm that.
can
What's
search for it.
interesting is you've used the word transparency over a half a dozen times.
Doesn't seem to understand that when you ask a question, you should wait for an answer instead of filling your own blanks here. So, her asking about the data that they're accessing, he talks about the public data, which is something every app in the world accesses, even that computer she's on right there. I bet she's logged in on Twitter. That uses all of your fucking data too. I bet she has a Facebook account that not only accesses all of your data, it sells it too. All of these apps do that. What they needed to get to the bottom of is more in line with like what is TikTok specifically doing with that data and how it relates to like the CCP and shit like that. But instead they're so hung up on like public data. You're accessing public profiles. That's creepy. That's something one of the guys said. It's so fucking crazy. And for some reason they don't even let him answer, so they get no answers. They get nothing out of this. It is fucking worthless. It is a complete waste of time. They're watching children's public profiles, which was creepy. Everything's at watching every public profile ever. That's the whole point of being public. It gets your hand in the system. That's not exclusive to TikTok. Twitch does it. Facebook does it. YouTube does it. Everything does it. Literally everything. We threw away our privacy long ago. TikTok is just a little more nefarious, potentially, with what it uses that data for, at least based on like reports from a year or two ago. Not meant to be informational or useful, it's meant to grandstand for campaigns.
Ano ka nang green nga kon? Di na ako ay.
Well, I guess maybe.
Ako kay blue ito.
Because this doesn't do anything to further anyone's agenda here. Everyone that asked him questions today looks like a bumbling fucking buffoon. A genuine moron. Like, I feel like all this does is shake people's confidence in their elected representatives here. They couldn't they couldn't ask a good question. Were they like this with Mark Zuckerberg? Yes, they were. It was just as bad with Mark Zuckerberg. Mark Zuckerberg sat in the same hot seat as this guy did, and he got bombarded with just as stupid questions. If I remember correctly, one of the Facebook questions was, do I need internet to connect to Facebook, or something like that.
Tara, sali na! Tignan ang ilalim ng selyo o cut ng participating products. At the cream ang price of partner outlets nationwide.
Drone Ron. Drone. Ha? Drone Ron.
Arigato, Gcash! Hi, Kuya Joni!
May mauran ka. Mura motor.
Gcash ka na. My treat!
Salamat,
Gipusil ko na to.
Best! Cute! The best! I have an idea. Pero, i-Gcash mo ako ah. For my dream summer, Gcash is the best way to pay me.
We are not getting anything out of this garbage. What do you think their approach should be on this topic? Hand it off to people that understand it. Clearly, this woman doesn't know what the fuck she's talking about. At all. She has no clue what's going on right there. And she clearly doesn't even want to get answers because she's too busy answering herself. So get someone who gets it, have them ask the questions, and come up with the questions to begin with. Delegate. This is clearly not her strong suit. She's not even old. That you can't just keep using the excuse of they're all fucking geriatric. She is not old. She is willfully stupid and still tries to act like an authority on the topic. She pulled up a fucking 400 view shitpost to try and use it as a point that completely fell flat. And then doesn't even let the guy answer her questions because she's too busy answering herself. Now, while she may have come to this hootenanny unprepared and made me ashamed to be a Floridian, she did mention something that I think is important to talk about briefly, which is Project Texas. Project Texas is something TikTok did to appease the US. In a quick nutshell, Project Texas is US user data being sent to Oracle, which is on American soil, as opposed to going anywhere else. So all of the US user data will now be on American soil, and Oracle kind of oversees the whole thing.
On a device in one pocket, but download it on your device in the other doesn't make a whole lot of sense to me. I believe Congress and DoD should address the continued use of TikTok on military installations as well as any use that depicts U.S. military operations. Mr. Chu, does TikTok access the home Wi-Fi network?
Only if the user turns on the Wi-Fi. I'm sorry, I may not understand that.
So if I
Again, this is being very charitable. I think the point he was trying to make is when it accesses the Wi-Fi, it has access to all of your devices that are within that network, which every device that accesses your Wi-Fi does. That is factual, that is true. Which is actually something that happened to Kaya. He downloaded a burglar broke in and downloaded a torrent, and it came with a virus, which infected multiple devices that were on his network. It is known that when you are on a Wi-Fi network, it connects to more than just the single thing that's connected to it. It's everything there. So I think his point was, can it access my other devices? Which is why he's talking about like downloading on a device next to me. Shit like that. But the way he asked that question is so bafflingly stupid that even the TikTok CEO is like, fucking obviously, it's gonna access your Wi-Fi if you turn it on, right? Like, it's just craziness. So have someone who understands what the fuck they're talking about be the one to ask these questions. I think you gave him too much credit. He probably thinks Wi-Fi is a radio. Again, it's a very charitable interpretation of what I think he could have been trying to say. I could be way off and giving way too much credit there. I don't know. For the sake of clarity, I actually think that guy's follow-up question kind of hints more at what I was saying. Even though it's still poorly asked and his follow-up question is still poorly phrased, I do think with a high level of confidence that the thing he was trying to get at is TikTok going to be accessing all kinds of things on my network outside of just the one device that I'm using right now to connect to it? I think is what he really wanted to get at, but he didn't know how to get to that topic effectively. So he ended up making a very silly question out of the whole thing, which really sums up the entire hearing. Just silly questions that didn't do anything at all. They didn't get any answers. They didn't get to the bottom of any real questions people have. It was just a genuine fucking circus. Just an absolute clown show. That's really about it. See ya.
So, this is a World of Warcraft classless server where you choose abilities and build your own hero. You can mix and match any spell and talent. I'm gonna mix Fire Mage and Paladin. Let's see if we can correct. So, at level 1, we're gonna unlearn the default skills and get Fireball, Crusader Strike, and Charge. Now I can, cast a Fireball, charge the wolf, then Crusader Strike it with my big sword. This is just a little. Now we start getting new abilities. Let's take a look at Fire spells. Flame Tongue Weapon? Hell yeah, we'll dual wield to get it twice. Level 12, let's pick up Hammer of Justice for a stun. Last, Divine Shield. Okay, there's so many ways to customize this. Check this out. I killed a fire elemental and it dropped this Kindle for the Fire Mystic enchantment. When I equip it, all of my physical damage increases my fire damage by 8% and vice versa. Now even though I'm this weird mix of Fire Mage and Paladin, all of my abilities actually help each other, so I'm strong. Yes, okay, we made it to...
it's safe to say one of the most disliked live streamers in the world just realized he destroyed his life chasing internet attention in South Korea, as things have somehow gotten even worse for Johnny Smalley out there. Because not only has he been slapped with more charges, but one of these new charges, they come with a mandatory prison sentence of at least 3 years if convicted. And considering South Korea has about a 99% conviction rate, it's not like you really need to be a legal expert to see where all of this is going. But what makes all of this even dumber is the fact that Johnny, just like everything else, live streamed him doing everything. Just like how he live streamed himself prank calling the police for $5, how he live streamed himself harassing construction workers, stalking other streamers, showing up late to his own trial after drunkenly insulting the judge and prosecutors while also live. Oh, in his new defense, he's apparently trying to pull the I'm bipolar card to avoid jail time. Good luck with that, especially because he's already pleaded guilty to 3 charges in the exact same case. So today we're diving into how Johnny somehow managed to stack 5 criminal charges in just a few months, all of which can send him to prison for years, all for the attention of 20 teenagers online. But on top of that, we're also talking about a new investigation which could lead to another decade in prison for him. So it's safe to say things are just not going his way over there. And speaking of doing stupid stuff live, he also leaked the conversation between his pretend lawyer and his real lawyer live. So it's safe to say things are becoming more and more telling of how screwed he really is. And this whole nonchalant act is in fact nothing more than just an act that's going to backfire on him massively. So let's get into this disaster. So as of right now, I saw him pleading guilty to 3 charges last time I traveled out to South Korea. This was for disruption of business revolving around the incident at 7-Eleven in Mapo that we actually went to in my video. Then there were the 2 Minor Crimes Act violations, which are essentially misdemeanors here in the U.S. One for twerking on people and blasting music on the subway, and one for shoving a rotten fish in people's faces and blasting music on a public bus. And since then, he's been hit with even more charges. His deepfake charge, which carries a minimum of 3 years in prison if convicted. Then there's another obstruction of business charge involving the latte world. And then on top of that, to make things even worse for the dude, there's a new investigation that can give him an additional 10.5 years in prison if they end up going through and charging him with this. And that investigation is for child
Dili kon i-bag ay wala akong wifi.
harassment. And this revolves an incident of him spamming horrific slurs at kids in Korean while at Lotte World. Lotte World, if you didn't know, is a kids theme park that has similarities to Disneyland and a kids-oriented version of Six Flags. Because in this clip, he walks around with that infamous Bluetooth speaker that's gotten him in so much trouble in Japan, and he lets people donate to use him as a proxy to harass kids in the worst way possible. And while he doesn't understand Korean and wouldn't be able to understand what the text-to-speech was saying, at the end of the day, it's still on him. He's allowed himself to be this vessel for these completely unacceptable interactions. The last thing you want as a parent is, you know, taking your kids to some theme park for them to be harassed through some dude's speaker as he's filming and live streaming your kid's reaction for the entire internet to see. That should not be accepted, and that's why it's so important for these streamers to be extremely careful with how they use the text-to-speech feature in public, as they are the ones responsible for whatever comes out of the speaker that's on their backpack. But in addition to his public defendant, which is essentially the lawyer he's been using up until now, Johnny has now gone out and got himself a real lawyer. Or, well, it seems like his friend Hank has done so for him. And this is what Legal Mindset and some other Korean legal analysts have said about his new lawyer.
He has 2 real lawyers, we're not counting Hank. First is a public defender in the Western District. That is a free attorney that is provided in the Western District where he has an active case. He also has a paid attorney in the Eastern District. Now, the Eastern District charges as we're going to see, are largely being merged into the Western District. So this paid lawyer is unregistered in the West. So this paid lawyer is unaware of the exact proceedings and what's going on in the Western District. So he really has no idea about what's going on unless he contacts certain people or does extra effort. And it appears that he is kind of being lazy with his proceedings. Also, people that were in the know and some legal professionals and others that analyzed this, as well as people that looked at this lawyer, it appears he's kind of what you might call in the U.S. a strip mall lawyer. He's got a very heavy specific regional accent, which is very hard to understand. He also seems to be very inexperienced with criminal procedure because he doesn't understand the concept of merging cases.
So he hasn't cooperated throughout his entire case, and he's only mocked the judge and prosecutors every step of the way. And his new Hail Mary is to hire a strip mall lawyer. Bro has a Korean Saul Goodman at his service. I mean, the train wreck just somehow keeps on wrecking. But again, somehow it all gets worse. Because we also found out that the prosecutor trying to bring Johnny to justice is a top 10 prosecutor in all of Korea. And his new attorney over there also stated that the law enforcement over there is very hard to work with for him due to Johnny's behavior throughout the whole trial. Then to make things even worse, Johnny's lawyer met with the prosecutor to beg them to drop the deepfake charges, but it was too late.
Ramsey's lawyer tried to meet with this prosecutor to beg her to drop with the deepfake case, to beg her to drop it. And as we're going to see with the deepfake case, the hilarious thing is, by the time he met with her, it was already too late. The charge had already been indicted. They'd already moved on. They've already processed this. So it was too late to even do that meeting. But they were trying to beg her to drop it because they thought she could drop it. But she'd already indicted, and it had already been moved over to the Western District.
That charge alone could be 10 years in prison for Johnny. So for the sake of his own freedom, it's really about time he starts apologizing for real and changes his ways. But unfortunately for Johnny, I feel like that is just way too late for him now, as Legal Mindset explains the timeline of the deepfake charges here.
On February 18th, referred the deepfake case to the prosecutor, which means at that point, it's looking pretty solid. And we had that based on the information that Ramsey flashed across the screen. He flashed across a paper which revealed that this was already sent to the prosecutor. And I called it out at the time, and I said, he's screwed on this because this is going to go on to court. If something is sent to the prosecutor, it is highly likely you're going to get an indictment. Well, on March 7th, he leaked that, right? And then on the 25th, the Eastern prosecutor indicted Ramsey. On the 27th, that indictment moved from the East to the West. The West is where his current case is. They are trying to consolidate everything in that Western District because it's already going, it's already pending, and they want to bring everything over to there so they handle it all in one trial rather than breaking it up into multiple trials. So on that day, I knew immediately, and I informed everybody on the 27th. Because of that, Ramsey and Hank were panicking, and they were talking about that with the lawyer. And that lawyer had no idea. I actually predicted that on my stream. I said, this lawyer might not even know, because the lawyer is not registered in the West. He's only registered in the East. So he actually wasn't accessing the right court records that were in the Western District. So at that meeting, he actually said, oh, you're not indicted for this. Oh, you're not indicted yet. He was.
So again, he's played his cards in the worst way possible, then put his freedom in the hands of a lawyer who isn't even registered in the correct district for him to properly help him. Without a doubt, Johnny or Ramsey deserves a permanent spot in the Hall of Fame of Influencer Morons for his entire trip to Korea. The dude has essentially turned himself into an international laughingstock.
50%부터 일단 시작을 해서 50%부터 시작을 했어 그러면 밑으로 이제 내려갔어 45%, 40%.
For nothing. Then he's also trusting this new lawyer for advice, and clearly he's given him a false sense of security.
The lawyer said it's unlikely since you're American, which actually revealed the inexperience and ignorance of this lawyer. Clear example, there was an American that went to jail, that was sentenced to 1 year in jail, prison time, for a single crime. This was actually predating deepfakes. This was just one cybercrime and an obstruction of business. So remember, Ramsey has at least 2 obstruction of business charges already on the docket, 2 Minor Crimes Act, and a deepfake. So Ramsey has over double the amount of charges, and that person person. That defendant was completely cooperative with the judge in the court.
Yeah, Johnny's been anything but that. And unfortunately for Johnny, he outed Hanks and his own lawyer's incompetence himself. As again, he keeps on streaming from his lawyer's office, and by doing so, he keeps leaking information about his trial without even realizing it as it's being said in Korean. While Johnny doesn't understand Korean, many others do, including translators that help creators cover the story.
So this is the lawyer speaking. So what's happening here, guys, is that Hank is trying to be the lawyer. And the lawyer is having to reprimand and say, hey, Hank, like, let me talk first. Stop trying to explain, right? Stop trying to explain. And once again, this is an issue where Johnny didn't understand the Korean, so he just streamed it. But it just shows how incompetent Hank is, and how even a lawyer who he's paying money to is saying, dude, shut up. Like, let me talk.
Why is he live streaming this in general? And Hank is the one who's been telling Johnny that everything was going to be fine. And then, of course, they messed up and didn't mute again.
This is the superintendent of the Women's and Juvenile Division at Songpa Police Station. Pay attention to that title, superintendent, okay? The next section, we're going to talk about police and prosecution. This is wild. Also, the section on women and juvenile crimes. The crimes that he's charged with are against women and children. They're saying we're referring the case number. That means he was indicted.
Yeah, I mean, that's an uh-oh face from Hank right there. And part of me kind of wants to feel for him as he's been guilted into, like, trying his best to defend his friend, who's so stupid he would rather live stream his legal counseling than have a better chance at having his freedom back. It's like he doesn't care his own freedom's on the line. It's just so stupid, it's baffling at this point. But moving on, another clip came out of him threatening to SA the female police officers that were at the station after getting arrested for his underwear stunt.
I've been to this police station 20 times. It's the first time they ever me in cuffs. I've been to this police station 20 different times.
But like, they put you up. Where do they think you're gonna go? You're like, why are you cuffs? It doesn't make any sense.
I don't know. I don't care. I love it.
Dude is really going for the maximum sentence here. He just can't shut up and act right because he has to continuously make everything worse for himself over and over again. And there is nothing that's going to stop him from doing so. No matter how much jail time he's facing. Like, he's just making it so clear to the South Korean judge and prosecutors that if they want to stop this behavior, they're going to have to force him to do so. Like, he knows all of this is going to be viewed by them, but still, for some reason claims that he has no regrets whatsoever.
My question is basically to Johnny. What I would like to know is if he has any regrets for what he has been doing over the past few years, especially what's been going on in South Korea.
Zero regrets. Zero remorse. There is no way. Again, he's just sending these messages to the prosecutor and judge over and over again, it seems. How stupid is it possible to be?
You haven't watched your own videos and all those wars done over a couple of years. You haven't seen anything. You haven't watched it.
No, whenever I see clips of it, I laugh my ass off. It's funny. Then on top of that, he also wanted to show up to his next court date wearing the new Kanye gown.
Just think about the cake outfit at the court. Is that crazy?
Yeah,
the same one Kanye had.
bro, I know it's a wonderful idea, but you won't even have a platform. You'll just get automatic ban.
No, so now I'm gonna get my Instagram deleted again. You're saying
it's a wonderful idea. I'm not gonna lie, but you can't do that and have a platform.
I really want to do the cake shit.
I know it's a good idea, but like, you know, why isn't there anybody else doing the stunt? Because
yeah, you're right. There's no one else in the world is doing that. You're right. I haven't seen anybody but Kanye do that.
Like,
so what could I do at the court? I'm gonna have reporters talking to me at the court, like in 2 days. Like the Korean news is coming. The last time I flipped them off and I said I love North Korea.
Oh my god.
I swear to God, man.
It seems like his own personal Super Bowl seems to be being the biggest idiot possible and going for the most amount of time in Korean prison. But what he doesn't realize is, once he's in prison for a year, people will forget about him. And then, if he's in prison for like 5 years, almost everyone would have forgotten about him then. And speaking of prison time, the newest investigation might be the worst one for him yet, as he's now facing an additional 10 years in prison if they go forward with this charge. And again, because he live streamed himself doing it, it's not like they have to gather evidence. It's really just if the prosecutor wants to hit him with it or not. But as of right now, Johnny hasn't responded to this new investigation, and his new trial is delayed yet again. So I'm sure Hank is worrying, because that means that Hank will have to foot the bill for Johnny for even longer until he's inevitably arrested. But that's the most recent update for the Johnny Smalley case. I know a lot of you guys have been asking me for one, but we have so many more crazy stories coming out this week. Also, shout out Legal Mindset for his great coverage of all this. I'll be linking his channel in the description down below. So make sure to subscribe if you're new here, and also, I'll see you in the next video. Peace.
For more than 2 years, wala na akong masabi. Sa gamit ko dati na D4G dashcam, no issues, very reliable. Siyempre, DD5 yan. Pero nilabas na itong multi-channel DD5 Z60 dashcam, I had to get an upgrade. Ang main reason, ito pa lang kasi ang dashcam set ng DD5 that offers a 3-camera option. Front camera na 4K Ultra HD, 1080p rear camera, at 2K UHD DD5 Mini 2X interior camera. Talagang all-around na protection. Sa linaw ng 4K front cam, walang takas sa mga plaka. Tapos itong interior camera provides additional security. In case of accidents, pwede maging ebidensya na magagamit para sa iyong protection. Marami na ring options ng 3-way dashcam sa market, pero iba pa rin talaga ang durability ng DD5. Super capacitor yan ang signature battery ng DD5, built to handle extreme temperatures up to 70 degrees Celsius nga.
You ever see someone light a fire, then act shocked when it burns the whole house down? Yeah, that's basically Rachel Zegler right now. First, Disney's Snow White remake was already hanging by a thread. Then along came South Park, casually dropping it off a cliff. And the best part, they did it with their signature, we don't care if you're offended type of energy. Classic. But while Rachel was still doing damage control over the movie controversies, South Park just came in, roasted the entire film and her, and left Disney scrambling like someone accidentally reply all at a company meltdown. And trust me, this doesn't end with a few memes and jokes. South Park already roasted Snow White and Rachel into oblivion.
Will you check under the bed and make sure there's no Disney executives under there?
And now they're reportedly cooking up a new DEI special. So stick around, because this is a full-blown Hollywood disaster unfolding in real time. South Park just decided to add insult to injury. But to really appreciate this train wreck, we need to rewind a bit. Because Disney's having an identity crisis bigger than your cousin after their third gap year. Every move they've made lately screams, please like us. They've been reshuffling characters, rewriting plots, and basically treating beloved classics.
When it comes to filling a job, there's a stack of documents involved. Whether it's adding business details, correcting typos, or organizing pages, Adobe Acrobat makes it easy to onboard new clients and lock in the right candidates.
I have to finish this paper. I'm swamped. No one told me college would be so damn.
Just get Grammarly. It's free.
Can it help with what I wrote last night? It only took 3 coffees and some cheese.
Grammarly will catch all those spelling and grammar errors, and he'll help with the bigger stuff. Like, look, you're being way too casual here, and it's saying that this paragraph needs to be shorter. So then, click.
Is this why nobody else is stressed about this paper? I thought there was just something in the water.
There is. Grammarly can also give you ideas to make your writing better. Add more background, add specific examples, focus your conclusion.
Wow, this sounds like me, but better. A less damp me.
Victory looks good on you.
You think a less damp me could get that internship?
A less damn you could do anything. Download Grammarly for free.
Like DIY projects from Pinterest, except, you know, the ones that look good until you actually make them. Choose Snow White, because the remake's been raising eyebrows since day one. From casting Rachel Zegler, to reimagining the story, to pretty much axing the romance angle that made the original famous. And the controversy about the dwarves and fans were furious. Then South saw the chaos and said, hold my beat. So here's where it gets good. South Park dropped their Join in the Pandaverse special, and oh boy, they did not hold back. They basically said what the internet's been yelling for months.
Yeah, only this time, it wasn't just me. They were taking all my favorite people and replacing them with diverse women complaining about the patriarchy.
Just with the classic South Park roast that burns hotter than fire. And so Cartman and the gang were transformed into grown women of color as a parody of Hollywood's obsession with ticking diversity boxes. And let's be real, Disney practically invited this roast with the way they've been handling Snow White. The special dragged Disney for turning authentic stories into hollow checkbox exercises. South Park's message was loud and clear. Congrats Disney, you're so busy pandering, you forgot to tell a good story. Brutal. And Rachel Zegler, she was front and center in that roast. Don't get me wrong, people are all for diversity in movies, but the way Disney's been going about it feels less like a genuine inclusion and more like just checking boxes on a corporate to-do list, which made Snow White an easy target from the start. The literal name of the character is Skin is White as Snow, so when Disney cast Rachel Zegler, a Latina actress, in the role, they knew it would spark debate. But the controversy wasn't just about casting. Disney gutted the entire essence of the story. No prince, no romance, and the dwarves swapped with CGI in a live remake. I know, make it make sense, right? All of this to avoid reinforcing stereotypes and to be more culturally sensitive and inclusive, aiming for a modern reimagining of the story that aligns with contemporary values. Well, the public didn't take well to this, and South Park saw this disaster brewing and just couldn't resist. Their parody basically screamed, if you remove everything that made Snow White, what's even left? Besides a marketing campaign, that is. And listen, South Park doesn't miss. When they smell a corporate pandering opportunity, this was like candy to them. And Rachel didn't exactly do herself any favors here either. When you land a role as iconic as Snow White, maybe, just maybe you show a little respect to the original. Nah, Rachel went full speed into controversy mode, trashing the original story in interviews, calling it outdated, weird, and basically implying that the prince was a walking red flag.
There is a big focus on her love story with a guy who literally stalks her.
Never mind telling like half the country not to watch the movie.
I don't need your business. Thanks.
Real smooth, Rachel. She even boasted that the new Snow White isn't about love at all, saying the prince's role is barely there.
All of Andrew's scenes could get cut. Who knows? It's Hollywood, baby.
So fans were furious, critics were confused, and South Park, they were already writing the script for the roast. To viewers, Rachel started sounding less like someone proud of reviving a classic and more like someone embarrassed to be a part of it. And that attitude practically handed South Park comedic gold on a silver platter. And of course, South Park couldn't ignore Disney's bizarre decision to reimagine the Seven Dwarfs. Gone were the charming, distinct characters we all grew up with. Instead, Disney offered us a random mix of diverse friends who looked like they stumbled in from a failed Dungeons & Dragons campaign. Fans felt like Disney was trying too hard to dodge controversy, only to land smack in the middle of it. South Park ran with this, mocking how classics are being gutted to avoid offending anyone, while ironically offending everyone. The backlash was so bad, Disney had several reshoots and added the dwarfs back in using CGI, which then just stirred up even more controversy. Now, you would think if the Little Mermaid remake taught Disney anything, it would be that controversy kills the vibe. Sure, Harley Bailey's Ariel faced some backlash, but the film...
Sign up! We're 5 winners of $1 million pesos!
Updated, it's almost unrecognizable. South Park noticed that too. They saw Disney's diversity plus modern twist equals profit formula and roasted it straight from the orbit. And let's not pretend Rachel's snarky interviews about dumping the love story didn't give South Park a full buffet of material. They basically turned Rachel's dismissive comments into the comedic equivalent of the public service announcement. If you hate the story this much, maybe don't star in it. So this left Disney panicking because execs know South Park's mockery sticks. Fans aren't just laughing, they're nodding along. Rumors were swirling that Disney was trying out to South Park's parent company to close things down. But it seems that South Park loves when people do that. It only makes it go harder. Remember when they roasted Scientology and Tom Cruise? Yeah, they thrived on that drama. Disney trying to hush them is like adding rocket fuel to an already raging fire. And just when you think it couldn't get any worse for Disney, South Park is reportedly picking up a brand new TI special that might arrive as soon as August, continuing the jabs from Fandiverse. So this is basically South Park saying, we're not done with you yet. Apparently they're planning to use Snow White's box office performance as fuel to roast Rachel Zegler and Disney even harder. And let's be real, everyone knows how badly the movie flopped. So when this drops, it's going to be brutal. So people are hyped because this movie's flop basically handed South Park a golden roast platter like it was a play night. So how is Rachel handling all of this? Not well. Insiders claim she's fuming behind the scenes. She expected applause for bringing a bold, modern Snow White, not headlines calling her out for ruining a classic and pushing a woke agenda. So instead of red carpets and praise, she's getting memed and roasted by the most savage cartoon on television. She's reportedly annoyed that people think she only got the role to check a diversity box, and South Park poking fun at her didn't just pour salt in the wound, it dumped the entire salt shaker. So between Disney's fumbling PR plays, Rachel's fiery interviews, and South Park's savage Pandaverse special, it all collided into a glorious meltdown that's got Hollywood on the edge and fans grabbing popcorn. So, will Disney learn anything from this disaster, or will they double down and keep modernizing classics until there's nothing left to modernize? Drop your thoughts in the comments below, but until next time, keep your classics classic, your satire sharp, and remember, if South Park's roasting you, probably messed up somewhere along the way. Peace. Wow,
Tapos ka na sa homework ko. Well, patapos na.
There's always a reason to enjoy the slow-melting, long-lasting taste of Cadbury.
Hey guys, it's Tiana May Gomez, and I'm going to be telling you what goes on behind my most viral TikTok.
This situation is absolutely insane, with accusations flying from both sides.
I wanted to share what I went through.
All I can say is that I was in love with him.
These are the facts, and I'm a witness.
And why is all your evidence posted and quickly deleted? His friends are painting him as the victim, and he is the victim, but not of me.
Ooh, a bombshell. Damn, the editing here is super intense. I feel like I'm about to watch an episode of Euphoria.
I'm young, and obviously I will not always get it right the first time.
Who doesn't love a good YouTube apology?
I love YouTube apologies.
Sorry for
Lapse in my judgment.
It's hard to overlook the irony of David Dover turning off comments on a video titled Let's Talk. While some apologies may lead to an accidental admission of guilt, others don't even contain the word sorry at all. Some are scripted, while others are very much not.
You're high. You're line of off a bad my
Very much not.
You're high. You're snorting a line of off a bad my you know what I mean?
I never saw his apology video. I didn't know he had one.
Online, you get used to a pretty wide range of public statements, varying from sincere and tactful to, oh my god, what are the words coming out of your mouth right now?
Actually, it just reminded me. Jenna Marbles,
Hey guys,
she made an apology video and then quit YouTube for said she was. Did she actually do that? It's been like 2 years now. I guess so. Damn, she said, alright, I'm out then. Issues new apology to staff. As producers, you're fired. Oh, she also just quit her show, right? That's pretty fucking awesome, I guess.
I stay grateful and I try to stay humble, and I think that I pay attention to what is
Maybe get some
important
Kelly.
and what is real.
In recent months, her character has been called into question.
Yeah, none of us like Ellen. I get it. Where's her apology?
Full focus of a producer.
Ninja made you, Ellen. Don't forget it.
I gotta keep moving forward and learning and growing. You know, so many people don't teach you about how to live this lifestyle or how to be here in this position, but I'm learning and I'm growing.
It doesn't exactly take a PhD in psychological
That's all that
science
matters.
to gauge who's actually
Way to be
sorry
strong.
and who's only sorry they got caught. Here's the thing, literal crime probably won't have the best of luck defending themselves holding a tangible, actual script in front of them.
To be fair, it's less of a script and more of like a summer reading essay.
Not even the worst interpretive dance I've ever seen as a response to one of the biggest TikTok controversies in recent for me in documenting the timeline of disastrous PR choices of one of TikTok's once most promising entertainers. In just under 8 months, Sienna built one of the
background music is slapping.
signed with a Hollywood talent agency, secured brand deals with a myriad of major companies, and was even set to star in a Netflix documentary focused on her friend group until a flood.
Yeah, you wonder why Netflix is doing shitty, huh?
Politics, it was just going so fast. In the span of August to maybe October, December, I was gaining 1 million followers.
God damn.
Living in place early. After getting along so well and becoming more close, the two began appearing side by side more frequently on TikTok. And as you can imagine, it didn't take long for young fans of the two to speculate on the true nature of their relationship.
Anything's all my time. His smile, his optimism, and his way of being kind to me no matter We haven't had it yet.
What a weird question to ask. Jesus Christ. Oh.
Not unlike YouTube and Twitch.
Oh my god. How is the paparazzi like a real profession that still exists in the current century? Jesus Christ. That shit is so weird. So genuinely weird. And it's so outdated now too, considering like all of these social media people and celebrities posted like all of their shit themselves. Like their most embarrassing moments are moments that they are capturing and posting themselves. So the paparazzi are getting paid for actual nothingness. Just take pictures of them holding coffee cups.
Are you guys dating?
They would very openly show PDA, but never outright clarified whether they were dating. So with this PR win, I have to assume Sienna must have felt a new air of confidence. After all, it was around this time that Netflix was filming for a Hype House documentary.
Yeah.
Surrounding the
That's it. Hold on, I'm curious. How many TikTokers shows does Netflix have? Let me see, I'm curious. Let's see. They have to have like 5 or 6, right? So the Hype House documentary, they have the Hype House competition show on Netflix. Or I guess it's not the Hype House per se, but something like it. Okay, can someone just tell me? I don't even know what I searched for. There's only like 2? No, that can't be right. They had the Addison Rae one, they had the Hype House one, they had that competition one where a bunch of TikTokers got into a house to fight for like Big Brother style. They had, they had another documentary on somebody, I was blanking on their name. I think they've been doing like a big investment in TikToker-focused media for the built-in audience. The D'Amelio family's on Hulu. Oh, Jesus Christ. Okay, maybe I'm just wrong. Maybe it's all over the place.
On the 31st, Mason Rizzo, a friend of Jack since kindergarten, published the following statement to Twitter, reading, "I struggle with seeing a girl praised after telling my best friend to kill himself and insulting him numerous times after he set boundaries and then repeatedly wonder why he doesn't like you back. She also has a history of verbally abusing people.
She's young. Come on.
She prioritizes the growth of her platform rather than the positive message she represents herself as.
Whatever evidence you think you have, either post it or send it to me and I'll post it, because you have nothing."
That's so bold. That is so fucking bold.
On June 3rd of 2021, this short video taken in November was posted by another friend of Jack's, seemingly depicting Sienna straddling an unconscious Jack Wright, groping him and kissing him on the lips while looking passed out. The guy next to him who posted the video got up after feeling uncomfortable, but went back to pull Sienna off once he realized what was happening, posting this alongside the clip in an effort to further support the claim that Jack was in fact asleep, or at the very least incapable of consent during that time. Being
being definitive proof of assault in the eyes of some, this video remains a heavy point of contention today. Siena has since made the claim many times over that he was not unconscious and completely consenting as it happened.
It does seem like he was.
Another statement not long
That's
after.
usually what I look like when I'm
Jack himself would
consenting.
go on to dispute.
The Hawaii incident happened where, honestly, I'm glad that they have evidence. After Siena found out about the video, she said sorry. She said if this got out, she would be done. That is horrible, and she's working on it.
Bill Cosby classic.
Was a victim of
True.
but not by me. And I am a victim of continual
I bet if they had an earlier video, there was
and
putting.
slander my name with false claims. It will not work. I'm here to clear things up and provide all sides of the story because I have been labeled as a sexual assaulter.
Right out of the gate, Siena's demeanor is stronger and more aggressive than before. She comes off less concerned for her friend who she just previously said was sexually abused, and more frustrated with how the situation has affected her.
Any video you go watch of us, please, and I encourage you to go watch my recent YouTube videos featuring Jack, our recent TikTok.
So
You will
holy
see
shit.
that this behavior
Jesus Christ.
was normal. Online, we touched each other, kissed
Where
each
to
other,
find a
we were
slime chunk
playful.
in
Jack kissed
Minecraft?
me,
Slime balls
and I
are
kissed
useful
him.
for
Within the
for
boundaries of
brewing
our relationship,
is useful.
this
Where's
was
an area
normal.
where slime
Definitely
will spawn
not
to
doing
build
much
a slime
with
farm,
her
and even for
favorite,
brewing
but let's
potions.
I would usually
Figuring out an
go
area
over
where
when he's
slime will
unconscious
spawn to build a
and
slime
yank
farm
on
and
his
get slime balls in
It was
areas.
part of
If you hit F3, there will be a lot of information on the screen. There are chunk coordinates on the left. You
I
can
would
get a
play
rough
with his
idea of the
nutsack when he was
chunks
having
you are
nightmares in order
currently
to
by
ease
seeing
his
when
mind.
X and Z coordinates change. Another way is by pressing in by seeing when the X and Z coordinates change. Another way is by pressing F3 and the G key. This will show the chunk borders. This can be used to pinpoint the chunks and is very useful for building the slime farm. What a slime chunk is a chunk that slimes can spawn below layer 40 and they can spawn at any light level. Sea level is 62, so this is 20 blocks below the surface down to bedrock. In this area you can light it up to prevent other mobs from spawning and only have slime spawn. Slime chunks also do not appear in the mushroom fields biome. About 1 in 10 chunks in Minecraft will be a slime chunk. For the slimes to spawn, they'll need to be on a solid block with options in liquid. Player is within 32 blocks. Also, they despawn instantly if no player is within the despawn radius of 44 to 128 blocks in Java Edition, and the Bedrock Edition has a similar distance. The reason to give you these numbers is to make it easier to understand how slimes spawn and why they probably won't be spawning in an area. The tricky part of this is trying to identify slime chunks. I would suggest that when you are exploring caves, to keep note of spots that slimes have spawned. The problem with this is that slimes could spawn in a chunk and move to another chunk, but this will at least allow you to narrow down an area. The best idea would be to dig down below layer 40, then dig a tunnel that is 3 high and 3 wide at least, probably
turnuhan. Sa asa nang kagayin? Ay. Sa'yo, pambaligyan nila? Pila na? Kabaw sa Manila punoon.
And then I'd spit on his face if it happens all the time.
And also, why was he kissing me back?
She asserts that he was fully awake and
Tara, sali na! Tignan ang ilalim ng selyo o cap ng participating products. At i-claim ang prize.
How does one of the biggest names in the crypto community go from flexing Lamborghinis and multi-million-dollar crypto portfolios to losing not just his channel, but his career and company? Is it promoting scam tokens to their audience and then lying about it?
What if I told you there's a project guaranteed to increase in price? I know you would probably want to jump in. This is where we get into the complicated gray areas of decentralized finance.
Is it trying to silence criticism from a smaller creator with a baseless lawsuit?
plaintiff has sustained damages in excess of $75,000 as a direct and proximate result of Atosi's torturous conduct. I think it's insane that I'm being sued for expressing my own opinions.
Or maybe it's going on an unhinged rampage against your former business partners.
The Carlos is out. This is where Carlos lives, guys. I am live streaming from Carlos's house. Carlos has my Lamborghini right here in his garage. So today, guys, I'm going to be live streaming and I'm going to be telling the entire story of Carlos Diaz.
BitBoy, aka Ben Armstrong,
these incidents were only the stepping stones to what would be one of the most infamous crashouts in internet history.
Do I have your attention now?
Sure.
Do I have it?
Hi, I'm the Internet Anarchist. I create weekly YouTube documentaries, and today we'll be exploring the downfall of crypto's most infamous influencer, Bitcoin. How he created one of YouTube's largest crypto channels, what he did to exploit that privileged position, and why it eventually destroyed his entire life. Looking at how Ben started his YouTube channel back in 2018, there's very little that indicated the Bitcoin brand would ever get as popular as it did. He didn't have the same production value, charisma, or technical knowledge that typically got people interested in crypto content. The only thing that truly set Ben apart was his genuine fascination with cryptocurrencies and the desire to spread the same curiosity to as many people as possible. Initially, Ben tried to get people's attention with animated videos and meme edits, but the editing wasn't polished enough to garner or sustain worthwhile viewership. Not long after, Ben decided to take a more direct approach to gaining viewership that involved less editing and more personality, with his daily crypto news series and token reviews. In addition to his informative content, Ben incentivized viewers to stick around with frequent crypto giveaways and community events.
You guys know I do a ton of giveaways. We're doing the giveaway right now for $1,000 in Bitcoin. I'm sure in the future I will use a portion of those rewards to be able to also continue to give back to my regular BitSquad community, whether you guys are an iOS team or not. Hopefully maybe you guys can get some tokens and then be a little more interested in the project.
While the first couple of videos weren't too remarkable, Ben used each upload to gradually refine his online persona and connection with his audience. As time went on, the main attraction of the BitBoy channel drifted away from giveaways and more towards Ben's ability to make every video feel like a casual conversation with a friend about the ups and downs of the crypto world.
Guys, Bitcoin dumped. You may know this if you're watching this video. Bitcoin dips below 8K as price sheds $700 in 2 hours. And look at the image. It's so witty. It's like from Avengers Endgame. It's Thanos. He's snapping his fingers and he makes Bitcoin disappear. Look at that image. It's so funny.
By 2021, Ben's positive perspective on the crypto world would massively pay off, as the surge in Bitcoin price brought in a huge wave of new users eager to learn everything about digital currencies. Naturally, many of these users looked towards the BitBoy brand for guidance, which took the channel from only a few 100,000 subscribers to over 1 million.
Is that Ben million subscribers Armstrong?
Holy crap. It is, guys. We did it, dude. We did it. They said it couldn't be done. Sorry about your knuckles, Mike. It's all good. They said it couldn't be done. Oh, we did it. We did it. Let's go. Woo! Ah, yeah, my knuckles are 3,500 to 1 million. We did it, man. So, May 14th, 2021. The first day a cryptocurrency YouTube channel passes 1 million subscribers. Shout out to the BitSquad. Shout out to all my people who work here.
Despite the rocky beginnings of his channel, Ben had finally built the community he always dreamed of, and it seemed like things could only go up from there. Unfortunately, this new success slowly clouded Ben's judgment and pushed him to make choices that degraded the reputation, goodwill, and credibility he worked so hard to establish. Around the same time BitBoy was getting popular, people began noticing odd choices in the coins Ben was promoting, and some users on Reddit even speculated that he could be running a pump and dump scheme, with a post reading, "Yesterday, he dropped a video titled Top 5 Coins Crushing the Market Now, Massive Crypto Gains." The video showcases top 5 altcoin picks for short-term gains. His top pick was Frontier, a relatively small, sub-100 million market cap coin. He didn't even give any reasons why this was his top pick. All he did was tease a video he was going to drop the next day. Immediately, Frontier doubled in price. Is this legal? By the 3rd of November 2021, these concerns would spread beyond Reddit, as crypto podcaster Anthony Pompliano uploaded a video calling Ben out for manipulating his audience and promoting pump and dump schemes on the channel.
This guy BitBoy Crypto, who's talking all this shit, saying that we sound like boomers on our altcoin takes. Here's my deal. I refuse to go stuff coins down the audience's throat so that I can pump my own bags. But that's exactly what's happening over there. If you go and you look at the headlines, at the titles, etc., there's literally people that are telling you absolute trash shit coins are going to $10, $15, $20 that are sitting at less than a penny or sitting at a couple of cents. And ultimately what occurs is you're watching people who are literally taking their money, they're investing in things, and then they're running to the audience, and they're not explaining to anybody what is actually going on, why there's true value being built, interviewing the founders or any of that stuff. All they're telling you is price targets. And what they're trying to do is to literally pump up assets so that they can later sell them.
Serious accusations demands a serious response, and Ben wasn't going to take these allegations lying down. In their now deleted interview, Ben defended his credibility with a claim that he never explicitly told people to buy a particular coin, and stated he was only highlighting potentially lucrative tokens.
The way that you portrayed yesterday what I am and what I'm about with Shiba is 100% false. I've never bought Shiba. I've never owned Shiba. I've never told people to buy Shiba. I don't like meme. We talk all the time how meme coins are really kind of a waste. However, when you give the message that people are stupid for investing in it, and you give the message that you can't make money with it, that is factually incorrect. People have done that.
Unfortunately for Ben, Anthony wasn't buying that explanation, and brought forward instances of him manipulating the market.
First one that we have here is this, where over the summer, about 2 months ago, he told people, do not buy Bitcoin. Urgent crypto message 2021. Bitcoin's at $48,000. Is now at $60,000.
We were telling people to
buy. The next one we have here is that the Dogecoin price, Dogecoin blasting to $5 in 2021. At the absolute top. It's at 27 cents now. And then the next one that we have is that XRP is going to $589. But you can't be serious with this. You just did a video saying Bitcoin's going to $20 million. That's asinine. I did not say that. No, just so we're clear. Just so we're clear. We all use clickbait.
As their debate dragged on, Ben became increasingly aggravated with the fact that things weren't going the way he expected, and he exploded into a demented rant when he couldn't deny the facts anymore.
We do what we say that we do. Remember you're saying I still shoot, and that yesterday you were saying like we just go, we say, go buy this and we sell back. Not one single time have I ever done that. And the stuff and the words that come out of your mouth that buy into the meme culture and the echo chamber that you live in, it's asinine, punk. It really is. You're out here assassinating people's characters. All I said was, I didn't agree with the way that you worded that video. That's literally all I said, and it's led to all this. It's ridiculous, to be honest with you.
Ben's aggressive outburst almost immediately drew in the attention of the wider crypto community, and sparked a debate on whether or not he was truly exploiting his audience to move the market. On one hand, Ben's videos could be seen as just educating about whichever coins he thought had potential without any ulterior motives. On the other, the way Ben framed these tokens as larger-than-life opportunities gave people the vibe that he wasn't trying to enrich you, but himself. This sentiment would be thoroughly explored in a video from the creator Atozy titled "This YouTuber Scams His Fans, BitBoy Crypto."
BitBoy Crypto. This guy is basically one of the largest crypto channels, but has also been known for being a shady dirtbag who milks his audience for a quick buck rather than giving them genuine advice. BitBoy Crypto went on to Anthony Pompliano's podcast, so today I thought we'd just open Pandora's box and expose this guy for the dirtbag he is.
According to Atozy, Ben wasn't a credible source of crypto news, since he had a pattern of promoting obscure tokens that rapidly declined in value following his endorsement.
He simply cannot be trusted with financial advice because you don't know if he's trying to enrich you or himself. Here's a prime example of that. So he made a video a while back on a token or a cryptocurrency where the price could only go up.
What if I told you there's a project guaranteed to increase in price? I know you would probably want to jump in, but I'm sure the first thought you would have would be, wait a second, that doesn't sound right. Well, this is where we get into the complicated gray areas of decentralized finance.
What was that, BitBoy? A project that's guaranteed to go up in price? Let's see where this project is today. Wow, would you look at that?
Considering the fact that creators of the PAMP were sponsoring the video, there was an obvious conflict of interest with Ben presenting it as a legitimate investment to viewers. This naturally tainted whatever claim Ben made about the coin, and led Atozy to the conclusion that he was manipulating fans into investing in a pump and dump scheme.
Hey guys, today we're going to discuss PAMP Network and whether or not it can pump up your portfolio. Could this be our next Hippo Pump? PAMP has been one of the most requested projects to review for my Telegram group
group and beyond. Luckily, Pamp actually reached out to me about doing a video, so thanks to Pamp for supporting this channel, and everybody gets the video they
I
want.
don't believe that for a second. I severely doubt that people are asking in his Telegram for him to cover this token. It would be pretty easy to see, because I'm assuming you can just scroll back to before he made this video to see if anyone were asking about him making a video on this token. But what I think happened is he got paid to make this video because whoever's paying him to make this video clearly needed some exit liquidity. If that's a foreign term, essentially, if you hold scam tokens, you need a sucker to buy it from you.
What makes this even more sickening is how Ben heavily relied on the disclaimer that none of it was financial advice, while aggressively presenting it as financial advice.
Boy, you always say do your own research and don't trust anybody in crypto.
Fair enough, voices in my head. Fair enough. But let this be an exception, but of course, do your own research on Pimp. After all, I'm not a financial advisor.
I'm not a financial advisor, but I'm making an 11-minute video on why you should buy this complete scam. It's basically inevitable that the SEC is going to get involved because dirtbags like this cannot resist the urge to take that quick buck and just milk their audience for some extra money.
To fully drive home his point, Atozy highlighted 2 other coins that Ben was paid to promote and claimed were worthwhile investments, but ended up going to zero.
I haven't seen a single apology video from this guy about this, so he clearly isn't sorry. He just wanted to sweep this one under the rug and not talk about it like he's done plenty of times before. Here's another coin he pumped called Ink Protocol. He did this on a video uploaded July 16th titled 3 coins to 3 million. Crypto get rich quick. That title should be the biggest red flag ever. But as you can see on the 16th, this token like 16x'd overnight. Then within pretty much a month, it completely retraced, leaving BitBoy's fans holding the bag yet again. And this has to be intentional because the market cap of this token when he promoted it was only $200,000, with the total liquidity that day being $68,000, meaning anyone with 3 followers could pump this token. And while we're at it, we might as well go 3 for 3 because there's another token that he pumped called Udo, or Udu. Here's the chart from the day before he pumped it to a couple months later. Wow, look at that! BitBoy's fans holding the bag yet again? Saying this is problematic is an understatement.
Promoting pump and dumps wasn't the only way Ben stole value from the community, as he frequently took other people's content and presented it as his own.
Now that's the part I wanted to cover of him just scamming his fans, but there's more. He also just straight up steals from other content creators. Here you can see that I guess BitBoy is paying for this guy's crypto calls, and he's stolen the chart that the Twitter user Smart Contractor had behind a paywall, posted it on his own YouTube channel like he made the chart.
Atozy's video only highlighted a handful of Ben's crimes against the community. There was no telling how many other scam tokens he promoted to his audience. Although thanks to Zach XBT and CoffeeZilla, we know how much it would take for Ben to sell out his audience.
He's the largest YouTube crypto channel, and I found this media kit thanks to Zach on Twitter, who's always digging up really interesting crypto stories. Now here in this media kit, we can see the demographics of BitBoy's channel, but we can also see how much it costs for, getting shouted out. Dedicated review, $35,000. Live stream, just paid $20,000. You can be in a live stream mention. YouTube interview, oh, well, that's going to cost you $40,000. Telegram AMA, oh, that's going to be $10,000. And a website article, only $2,500, guys. Just $2,500. You can be written about by BitBoy Crypto. Now, I reached out to him to confirm this is real. He did confirm this is authentic pricing. But now we know how much he's been paid. There it is, $40,000. YouTube can be interviewed by BitBoy Crypto.
It goes without saying, but that kind of revelation would severely damage any crypto creator's reputation, and Ben was no exception. After all, the main selling point of crypto channels like BitBoy was the fact they provided reliable and credible insights on the market. If those insights were just random tokens that creators were paid to promote, then viewers weren't going to keep engaging with their content. However, it wouldn't be the shady promotions that destroyed Ben's career. It would be his reckless crusade to cover it up. On the 23rd of August 2022, Atozy uploaded a video titled I Got Sued, in which he detailed a fresh and ongoing legal battle with Ben. Apparently, Ben didn't like how Atozy exposed his pump and dump promotion and filed a defamation lawsuit against him.
His conduct was directed toward Armstrong and has caused Armstrong severe emotional distress. As a result of the defendant's outrageous statements, Armstrong now suffers from severe anxiety that he will be perceived as a felon, a fraud, and an untrustworthy in business or in general. Armstrong now has recurring bouts of depression about whether defendant's defamatory statements will harm Armstrong financially and socially, and whether he'll be able to recover his good reputation in business as a result. Contemplating the loss of his livelihood and his good standing in society has left Armstrong in a fragile emotional state with virtually no confidence that things will be better in the future. Plaintiff has sustained damages in excess of $75,000 as a direct and proximate result of Atosi's torturous conduct. I think it's insane that I'm being sued for expressing my own opinions. I thought I lived in America.
Something Atosi pointed out that made the lawsuit even more baseless is how Ben had publicly admitted to promoting scams in the past and had no issues with it being reported by other journalists.
Armstrong is one of the most watched crypto influencers on YouTube. His channel, BitBoy Crypto, has amassed more than 1.5 million subscribers. For years, Armstrong said that he accepted payments from crypto companies to tout their new products for his vast audience of subscribers. That's a practice where he says he now regrets because it led to some painful losses of his own viewers. In the fall of 2020, Armstrong announced his partnership with a cryptocurrency called DistX, calling it the most trusted coin. He said the whole idea of DistX was to stop scams in crypto. But Armstrong said in the end, the project itself ended up being a scam. The project team rug pulled, meaning they worked to increase the market cap and then disappeared, leaving investors holding the bag. The new coin is down 99%, valued at less than a penny.
Atosi ended the video by stating he'd be tackling the lawsuit head-on, despite the expensive legal costs, in hopes members of his community would be kind enough to assist him in the upcoming battle.
I'm going to be standing up for myself because I don't believe people should just be able to throw money at lawyers to make their shady actions go away. And I also don't think that people should be rewarded by filing outrageous lawsuits. Clearly, I don't have all the money to fight this lawsuit because I've been quoted from various lawyers. This could cost $50,000 to $500,000 just to defend myself. So if you guys do want to support me here, I will be linking a GoFundMe down below, a Bitcoin address, an Ethereum address in the description down below. If there's any leftover funds from this, I will be donating this to various charities because I have no intentions of profiting from raising money from you guys.
As Atosi was preparing to face the impending lawsuit, Ben was already claiming victory and making snarky comments about his GoFundMe on Twitter, reading, "The 16-year-olds out in full force today. Good thing their attention spans are 4.2 seconds. I'm sure they can all borrow a $10 note from their mum's purse to help you out, bud. When more folks figure out that everything you try to do to hurt me only helps me, that has to be so frustrating. I just keep winning, and the wins are only about to get bigger." Unfortunately for Ben, things weren't going to be that easy, as the community was quickly rallying behind Atosi. From donations in tens of thousands to uploading videos covering the situation, the internet was going to give Atosi anything he needed to fight the lawsuit.
I think at this time I'd raised about $30,000 in total, which was insane. I realize now, like, wow, guys, this is still going to be expensive for me, but maybe not as expensive as what I thought it would be. But lo and behold, this man is definitely a man of his word, and he sent me over $100,000 in USDC, which is a stable coin on Ethereum. So not only did this dude buy me a domain, but he also sent me $100,000. What do you even say to that, other than thank you? Holy shit, like, I'm still speechless just thinking about that. Some anonymous person also donated $25,000 to the GoFundMe. Then the Twitter user ZachXBT and PassCT organized an auction where they were auctioning away this image where the proceeds were going to go to my defense fund, and the top bid was over $5,000 at one point. And then all the individual donations from my community and the crypto community, I was in shock.
Now that Atosi was ready to handle the lawsuit, Ben decided it wasn't a battle worth fighting and withdrew the lawsuit.
At this point, as the Republic, it's become an absolute debacle. Of cocaine, $100,000. So, hopefully that money will go to good use. But yeah, so we are going to drop a lawsuit, 100%. And I'm sorry, in public. I'm sorry that this has been, it's true. But I just want you guys to understand why I'm doing this. This is not about a slapstick lawsuit. I know that's what everybody says, right? It's frivolous. It's not frivolous. When someone is fined, you can be in trouble with the SEC. That is not frivolous. That's a very, very, very serious matter. And so from my perspective, trying to defend my reputation, trying to get the truth of the video that literally had wrong information in it, that was all I wanted. So that's a focus. As long as there is
Kasi ang tama pero di wasag sa hamon na bukas. Red Horse is strong! The number one and strong neighbor in the world!
Let's talk about the secret token. FTT, that is the token of FTX. Sam Bankman-Fried, everything this man touches turns to gold. I don't know. Moon. There's a massive story out right now about FTN. FTT is potentially going to be one of the few coins I believe that could go up in the bear market.
We are tired of people that look like this guy trying to run stuff. I don't represent the people, the fuck I don't. I'm the one who does. It's me. I'm the one out here putting the work in behind the scenes trying to save crypto while these devils, Sam Bankman-Fried, Brian Armstrong, they're trying to permanently ruin it. This is not about money for me. I hope you guys understand this. I'm here fighting for you.
By the end of 2022, practically everyone on the
Delikado gid din akong keyboard nga rin Saka na kayo niya.
Ilalagay ko yung link sa comment section para makapagod. Ito guys, napakagandang laptop. Baka magustuhan nyo para magamit nyo.
What the lababo nga tarong.
internet.
I'm sorry that this has been, misconstrued, but I just want you guys to understand why I was doing this. This was not about a slapstick lawsuit. I know that's what everybody says, right? It's frivolous. It's not frivolous. When someone implies that you can be in trouble from the SEC, that is not frivolous, guys. That's a very, very, very serious matter. And so from my perspective, trying to defend my reputation, trying to get him to remove the video that literally has wrong information in it, that was all I wanted. This wasn't supposed to get this far. Like I said, there is nothing really we can do. Money just came in on his side. The lawsuit was never about money. So hopefully, it tells you now that we're going to be officially dropping this, so that is going to be happening.
It seems like whenever his crazy antics enter the public eye, Ben goes from being a bully, mercilessly oppressing others, to a spineless coward willing to say or do anything to escape punishment. Unfortunately for Ben, dismissing the lawsuit wasn't going to make the backlash going away, as users dug deeper into his token promotions. Apparently, Ben had heavily promoted failed crypto projects like FTX and Celsius, deleted his videos about them, and retroactively slandered their founders.
Let's talk about the secret token. FTT, that is the token of FTX. Sam Bankman-Fried, everything this man touches turns to gold. I don't know. Moon. There's a massive story out right now about FTN. FTT is potentially going to be one of the few coins I believe that could go up in the bear market.
We are tired of people that look like this guy trying to run stuff. I don't represent the people, the fuck I don't. I'm the one who does. It's me. I'm the one out here putting the work in behind the scenes trying to save crypto while these devils, Sam Bankman-Fried, Brian Armstrong, they are trying to permanently ruin it. This is not about money for me. I hope you guys understand this. I'm here fighting for you.
By the end of 2022, practically everyone on the internet knew how shady, dishonest, and manipulative Ben was, and they weren't afraid to say it to his face.
Give the evidence. This is your moment. Prove unequivocally. Show me a media sheet. Show me a media sheet that says that's evidence.
All right, let's go and see, right? All the evidence posted by Zach XB.
A thread from a year ago.
It doesn't matter whether it's a year ago, right?
No, hold on. You're a child molester. You're a child molester. You're a child molester.
Okay, can you let me complete now?
No, I don't have to back it up with evidence. It's just something that I said.
You know what?
This woman is a child molester. She's a murderer. She's a murderer.
Look at you, you're shaking.
By the start of 2023, Ben's shady crypto deals had finally caught up with him, as his name was listed in a $1 billion lawsuit against the promoters of FTX. Naturally, Ben tried to weasel his way out of the court case by claiming he was never sponsored by FTX, but viewers were quick to remind him and hold him accountable.
FTT. Number 2, Thorchain. Okay, now FTT. Wow. Yeah, I've said before this is going to be one of the #1 coins we were going to accumulate in the bear market. But, got some inside info that this thing is about to explode in the next few weeks.
Sadly, Ben couldn't handle the truth and defaulted to harassing the attorney handling the lawsuit. He would even go as far as threatening to countersue for, quote, defamation.
It would be so much easier for them to leave me off the list. It would have been far better to do your due diligence to find out that I never promoted FTX instead of being on there. Just same dump with everybody else. The judge would probably throw it out because it's frivolous. But here's the thing about a frivolous lawsuit. Now that it's been put out there, Mr. and Mrs. Law firms behind all this, now it's been put out. Now you can't take it back. Now you have, in fact, defamed my name with 100% provably false allegations. So, you guys are the lawyer in game? Well, guess what? Better lawyer up, because your friend old cousin Pitbull is going to come riding into town on a horse, a legal horse, with a whip.
While all of this was going on, Ben was setting up yet another pump and dump with his newly created Ben token. Initially, Ben claimed that he was investing in the coin longer term, but as soon as the price spiked, he dumped the token on his fans. Stealing from his fans, lying to promote coins, and bullying anyone that criticized him was second nature to Ben by now.
Saw you. Marami tayo. 430 pesos. Earn tayo, boss. Yung 1,000 natin, naragdagan ng 870 Yo, what's up mga boss? Yan, welcome sa episode 2 ng ating expert option kung saan ituturo natin mula sa zero na.
Didn't care if people knew he was a scammer or not. All that mattered to Ben was how he could abuse his position in the crypto community for personal gain. Unfortunately for Ben, he wouldn't have that power for much longer, as the company he worked for decided it was time for a change in leadership. By the 27th of August 2023, Ben lost access to the main BitBoy Crypto Twitter and made this tweet on his personal account, claiming his colleagues were trying to steal his company. TJ Shed and Justin Williams have attempted to kill at my company. There has been a mutiny at BitBoy Crypto and Hit Network, but it won't work. They have no leverage. Until they can clone me, I have nothing to worry about. The very next day, the investment company that owns the BitBoy YouTube channel announced that Ben would no longer be working with them. Reading, yesterday, BJ Investment Holdings, the parent company of Hit Network, took a decisive legal action in removing Ben Armstrong from the company, and specifically the BitBoy Crypto brand. According to their post, the sudden takeover was necessary because Ben had become a major financial and social liability to the company. Reading, this difficult decision is a culmination of a prolonged effort to help Ben during his relapse into substance abuse, as well as reconcile the emotional, physical, and financial damage he has done to the employees of Hit Network and to the BitBoy Crypto community. In response to the news, Ben decided to file a lawsuit against his former colleagues and begged fans to support him financially.
And the fact is I was under duress. That's them, guys. Like, when people see what they did to me with this Lamborghini, trying to bleed me out, that's what they're trying to do. They're trying to bleed me out of money so I can't fight. And so today, as I put $20 in my gas tank earlier, that I had to borrow from someone and 100% cut off from all my money. My wife's American Express card, well, that wasn't paid for the last month. That wasn't paid. It was supposed to be getting paid by people that work for me. And they didn't do it, so the credit card's maxed out. And guys, we're in a tough spot here. They're trying to make me stop fighting. And so I humbly ask that if I've ever done anything for you, if I've ever encouraged you, if I've ever just let you the dream that you might have something different, if I've helped, if some of my content has helped you, or if you're on the outside of the situation looking in and you see how dirty what's happening is, then I humbly ask that you donate, whatever you want to donate is fine.
It's almost poetic that Ben was seeking support with a lawsuit after putting someone under the exact same position a few years prior. With a track record like that, it's no wonder why viewers were roasting him in the comments. When boasting, begging, and legal battles didn't get Ben what he wanted, he resorted to old-fashioned bullying tactics, and took a page out of SS Nightwolf's book and started a stream right in front of his former colleague's home.
This is where Carlos lives, guys. I am live streaming from Carlos's house. Carlos has my Lamborghini right here in his garage. So today, guys, I'm going to be live streaming and I'm going to be telling the entire story of Carlos Diaz. Who Carlos Diaz is. I'm going to be talking about all the people he's affiliated with. I'm going to be talking about how he got into my building. I'm going to talk about all of it. Hope you guys are ready. He just answered the door, so I know this is him for sure. Right here. I'm not scared of you, Carlos!
For the next several minutes, Ben would have a complete meltdown over what happened between him and Hit Network. From accusing them of threatening his life to unfairly taking his Lamborghini, Ben couldn't stop raving about how much he was the victim, and he would have continued all night if police didn't show up to arrest him.
Here they are. Here's the police. Here's the police. Police are here, guys. So we'll have to talk to him here in a second. Here's the point. He goes out there. He doesn't even go out there. He pays someone to take pictures in front of Ben Dotti's house, okay? And then he tells them, I better hurry up quickly here. He told me he went out there and roughed up Ben Dotti, fought him and beat him up, and Maxine Waters, a politician, told him to kill Ben Dotti with a fentanyl syringe.